Tom Selleck's here talking baseball with him. So he was a Dodger for 2 years, we found out, and then moved to Cleveland.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah,
that's what he did.
That's right.
Everybody says that, and you're saying the publicists get a hold of these stories, and then it kind of grows and snowballs.
Well, yeah, as I did this baseball movie, I'd go from one interview to the next, and gradually it became, he gave up a major league career to become an actor, and to be honest, nobody ever asked.
Would you play in college, school?
Yeah, I played from Little League to Babe Ruth League to high school to American Legion to junior college, and that was it. Mm-hmm. Then when I went to USC, I made a brilliant decision to give up baseball to concentrate on being a 6'4" forward in the Pac-10.
And how'd that go?
I rode the pine. Actually, I had a brush with greatness, though. I was Lou Alcindor. Every time we were going to play UCLA, the guys who weren't going to play much ran the UCLA offense all week against our first string, and I've told Kareem this, but he was Lou Alcindor then, and I was him about 4 times a year. It was
really?
A brush with greatness.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell us this. What is it like being a really, really big star? What happens with that?
Nothing. I expected a lot of stuff.
When it was happening,
room keys and no,
nothing like that.
No.
You mean people just come up and give you stuff like money and things like that?
Well, you do get a lot of things free. You get a lot of free tennis shoes. I think that is the real
neat.
key to making a success in this business, because when you couldn't afford tennis shoes, no one will give them to you, and then when you reach a certain plateau, everybody wants to give you free tennis shoes.
Yeah, and so is that how you judge how big a star
Actually,
you are?
that dates me, doesn't it? Nobody even calls them tennis shoes anymore, do they?
Kind of, yeah. Or Lou Alcindor, for that matter.
Well, it's my generation.
There you go.
All right, now,
he and I got inducted in the Little League Hall of Fame about 3-4 weeks ago, and both of us realized we weren't there for our baseball ability.
Yeah, but that's big, though.
That was big time.
What position did you play?
In Little League?
Yeah.
I was a pitcher and a shortstop.
You still throw it?
Yeah, I can throw it. I threw out the first ball in St. Louis the other day, and they had the gun on it. 68 miles an hour.
Hey, Tommy.
Unbelievable.
All right, you man.
Yeah.
Plus, also, now, he was just telling us a story. He was in St. Louis and taking batting practice. I'm assuming people were in the stadium watching the game.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, now, who stepped onto the mound to throw to you?
Well, it was their last day, and they were... sometimes they don't even take batting practice their last day, but they asked me there. So Todd Zeal volunteered to throw BP, and all of a sudden, he steps off the mound, and they take away that protective cage, and in steps Todd Worrell.
Okay, so now, was he throwing to you or just kind of throwing it up there? So
he wasn't smiling.
No, so he was ready to...
Which I found a common denominator with these guys once their foot touches the rubber.
So now you're in a Cardinals uniform?
I'm in a Cardinals uniform with my own name on it.
Red play ball.
I got a release after this particular event.
And he's on the mound going, so you gave up a career in baseball. So
and he's wanting to strike out Tom Selleck.
You betcha.
Okay, so he steps up.
And he did. He struck me out 2 or 3 times over. Actually, finally I got a little wood on the ball. I got one thing that might be considered a bleeder, barely a base hit, but basically it was humiliating because he was throwing in the 90s, and they started throwing me a hard slider, which I'd never really seen, which is great because you start to commit to it, and it was inside, and they call it a fister.
Hit that handle.
It comes in on the fist, or it hits you in the back leg as you're swinging for it, and that's real embarrassing.
But now you work each year with Detroit, with the Tigers, and you go down and when you can and work out with them.
Well, they asked me back this coming spring. I did it 2 years ago, and I've worked out with every team that would have me.
Let you come in.
Under the excuse of research for this movie. Now I don't have any excuse to call any of these clubs, but the Tigers will still have me. They invited me back, so if I'm not working in the movie, I'll go down this spring.
Now, we all have seen the advertisement for Mr. Baseball.
The biggest thing to hit Japan since Godzilla.
Without question. And it looks fun. It looks like a fun movie.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and it actually does hopefully what you guys do. I mean, it has the courage to have fun with a very tense situation. Mm-hmm. And, there's a lot of Japan bashing and America bashing going on, and I like the movie for that, because it talks about a real problem, but we hopefully have the courage to have a few laughs about it. We need more laughs in general, I think. And
Yeah.
we need some funny politicians is what we need.
All right, let's get the politics
more
first
of
couple
those.
jokes. Now,
So the reviews are good on it. Happy with the
Yeah.
reviews?
I am happy, actually. New York Times, LA Times gave it real good reviews, and the reviewers didn't, but I never mentioned the bad ones.
but now for a baseball fan who's going to go to the movie, is there some pretty decent baseball in it?
Well, have you guys seen movies where the actor can't fool the audience?
Yeah, but you can. I mean, you're a ball player. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I always wanted to do a baseball movie. Is at least I was to first base, to use a baseball metaphor. But because if you can't, you put a lie to the whole movie. If you can't play the game well enough to fool an audience.
Yeah.
But I should qualify this since I'm going to go back to spring training, and baseball players like to draw a line. I'm a real good hitter for an actor.
There you go.
for an actor.
Because I think Todd thought I was a real good hitter for a hitter. That's why he pitched to me, to make sure I knew the difference.
Tell you, we need to ink something right now before we forget it. Magic Johnson was on this program, and we wound up for charity, for Magic Johnson's charities. We played the Mark and Brian All-Star softball team, played the Magic Johnson All-Star softball team in a softball game. And they whooped us up pretty good. He brought all his buddies.
He had a lot of ringers,
oh,
didn't he?
Man.
Yeah, but we had Craig T. Nelson, and he sucks.
I mean, Craig T. Nelson's playing third base. He's drinking
God.
beer and smoking
God
while
awful
the game is
softball
taking
player.
place.
Yeah.
Hey,
Give you an
that's-
idea.
That's old baseball.
So now, Magic has also challenged us to a volleyball contest.
Wow.
You play volleyball?
I do.
Yes, and he plays it very well.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah, but these guys live above the top of the net.
Dale
I got to
would.
jump up there.
Tommy, we got to have this right
Well, I
now.
can hit.
Right now, it's us.
Do you know? Well, let me give you a little test. Do you know what an outside hitter is?
And concerning volleyball?
Yes. Because that's a position I play, and who's your setter? That's all that matters.
What's that?
Perfect.
We ain't got
Sounds
one.
like it'll be real humiliating.
Yeah, it's going to be, but we want you involved in that.
Oh,
Now,
thanks.
If we can,
It's always good to hit against a three-man block where they're all 6'10",
Hit it at a time. Hit it at a time.
we're gonna work out the date with them because it's supposed to have already happened and things came up. But if your schedule is clear on the date that we did, it won't work it around you. We need you on. that thing
I
with
think from the sound of things, I'd probably commit no matter what the date is.
There you go. You're already inked, whether you like it or not. You're on the team.
Yeah.
Now we're also going to get that Peter guy from 30-something.
Peter Horton.
Yeah, he's a big tall thing.
Oh, Peter can play.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll get him
no.
involved.
And a couple of really professional volleyball players.
What's
Yeah,
going on?
like St. John Smith and
And
Randy Stokely and Karch
who's
You can
Steve
call
Timmons.
You can call some buddies. You got
Hey,
some
those
buddies.
guys were mad at me. Well, they
About?
weren't really mad at me. I was I've been the honorary captain of the men's Olympic team, and they were a little upset that I didn't shave my head.
for the thing.
Yeah.
Well, for our thing,
And I said, well, I was in L.A. Had you invited me to Barcelona and I've been your guest, I would have shaved.
that would have been a pretty.
Are you still
sight.
playing basketball?
Oh, yeah. Not too much. I'm in the backyard.
Yeah.
But I don't like to play against my son anymore because I think he can beat me.
How old is he?
He's 24. Yeah. He was an All-American volleyball player at SC, Kevin.
How old are you?
Can we get him on the
Me,
team?
47.
Screw you. Can we get your son on the team?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, he's a middle blocker. He's what you need.
Okay, you two, then. You're both on the team. Ink your son.
Well, he can't set too well, though, and neither can I, so you got to get a good setter.
All right, now you've
What's
got,
that? Yeah. All right, we'll get a setter.
You've got a
That down,
20.
Nicole.
This is key.
You got a 24-year-old son.
Yeah, and a 3.5-year-old daughter named Hannah. Now, who is Hannah?
Chuck.
Chuck does?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hannah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he
That's
does.
me, too. Yeah.
And been married all these years in this business.
Who, me? No, I've had actually 2.
So this is your second one.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I must confess, although who knows what the publicists say.
Well, we had the bio here and checking that information, but now it is a tough business to stay married in.
Yeah, I was really lucky because I wasn't married when I did Magnum, and nobody cared.
You're between marriages.
I was actually between marriages. My first marriage, unfortunately, it kind of ended, and I was a little lonely and homesick over there. And that's a good place to be, lonely and homesick.
Yeah, you got to be
what?
lonely. Now,
Yeah.
how long ago was that? Was Magnum?
Started in 80, went to 88, and we did 163 episodes.
It looked like when you sit and watch a show, and I mean, we know how long a day and how tough the schedule
Yeah.
can be, but it looked like a lot of fun to do.
Well, it was. Nobody wants to hear about the long days.
Yeah.
You're
and
in
the work,
Hawaii.
if it's and the work, if it's good, should look fun. and look real easy. The major difference, I think, with our show, with a lot of shows, is all four of the main actors, Larry and Roger and John and myself, all still talk to each other.
Hey.
After 8 years, which is a major, accomplishment.
Oh, it is.
So we always had fun with each other, and even if, you do good shows and you do shows that you really never want to see again, even though you're trying to make them good, but we always knew we'd have scenes with each other where we can have some fun. So I always look forward to that.
The last episode was a tough one to get through if you were a fan of the show. Like that.
What? It was called Resolutions, and we didn't resolve anything. And so
walking through the clouds, hey, they're going to die.
That was the end of the 7th year when my contract was up. And I did.
Thought that was it.
And there was,
But
then we
did
did an
die.
8th year. Well,
how'd you get out of that dying thing then?
Well, we had it. We knew we weren't going to do what Dallas did and say, that whole season was a dream. No, we knew. Well, that's what they did. So ignore what happened
and
last
the sponsors would want their money back, I would assume.
So we, he was just in a coma. And having a kind of an out-of-body experience, which we got away with a lot. And we had a kind of sixth sense, I think the audience accepted that because he always confided in him. He always he'd be lying to somebody, or he'd just be full of it, and he'd say, "I know what you're thinking," I was lying, but he'd always had this he'd share things with the audience that none of the characters in the show knew. So they let us do a lot of stuff.
2 days before we found out that you were originally going to call the show.
I didn't want to call. I wanted to come in and
that's
really
very cool.
see what this was like.
Thank you.
Yeah, it took me 2 hours. I got up at midnight last night to drive here.
I was watching HBO or Cinemax or something, and Quigley Down Under came on, and I saw it in a theater. And I don't know if it was a box office hit, but I walked out of the theater thinking that was one of the best westerns I've seen in a very long time. Maybe
the entertainment shows kind of sell this. Either a film hits a home run or it strikes out.
Right.
It didn't get a very good release. It was done by the company, this guy Peretti, who bought MGM, and it was released the week he needed the cash to buy the movie. So they just kind of released it for a week, and that happens to a lot of good pictures. And fortunately for Quigley, a lot of people have discovered it on video, and but it was really good in the theaters because the sound was good, and it was a big widescreen movie, and I was thrilled being in a big western.
Well, it works on television too. If you like westerns, you're going to love this.
I got it. I haven't seen it, so I must.
It's good. This is a good movie.
You'll love him with his little cliches and stuff. He's the quintessential cowboy, and he handles everything the way.
His love interest is about a half a bubble off a plum.
Yeah,
cool.
In fact, that's what he says in the movie.
Quigley puts it.
Yeah.
3 Men and a Baby was a big series for you. Was that your probably most successful film?
Yes, that is undoubtedly perceived as a success.
That's a biggie.
It was a biggie. It made a lot of money, but more importantly, it was a good movie, and people like it, and that's, to me, all you can hope for. And because the way pictures come out now, it's who knows whether they're going to succeed. You just have to. Hopefully, if they succeed in your own head, you're all right.
Have you ever played a villain in anything substantial as far as...
I'm not sure I want to see that.
See, I was just going to say...
I'd really like to. Actually, I was asked to I don't want to mention the picture because it then becomes some other actor was a second choice, so I hate to do that to other actors.
Well, no, come on, Tom.
No, I can't.
Silence of the Lamb.
No,
You're going to be Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. Good guess. Good guess.
But he was going to play Jodie Foster.
No, Buffalo Bill's a couple bubble off a plum.
I'd like to, because one thing a lot of actors make a mistake about is if you're playing a homicidal maniac, they make the Hitler mistake, which is don't ever give Hitler any redeeming qualities, even though he seduced a nation just because he was evil. But God forbid anybody think you identify with the guy, so you wink at the audience all through your performance. And the one thing they always forget when they're playing homicidal maniacs is how did they have the charm to get the girl hitchhiker into the car to begin with? And so I think that makes villains a little more dangerous. So I'd like to play around with that.
Boy,
That makes sense?
Yeah,
very much so.
Well, one of the reasons...
Were you listening?
Every word you said.
Absolutely.
Good.
Couldn't repeat it, but I remember what it meant.
Well, I meander a bit when I talk.
No, Tom.
Mark, it's your shake. Yahtzee!
Yahtzee! Oh,
Remember that game?
That game.
Oh,
I used to stay up all night.
But one of the things about you is that, great looking, talented actor, great looking, and you're likable. Quickly Down Under, 3 Men and a Baby, Magnum PI. You've always been. You have that thing. You have that thing that just is. It's not threatening and it's intoxicating to watch. So if you play a villain, that will be a very different move for you. And a lot of times, for such an opposite reversal of a role choice, you could tear that up.
Well, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I don't know what to say to all those things you said.
Oh, you are? This.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Got that?
Yeah.
Got the loose. Got the money. Got the movie. Got the.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting proposition, and maybe somebody out there's listening.
Are you looking to stretch? Or are you?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always see every part I've done has been a stretch for me. I mean, some of the critics didn't think so, but I wouldn't do them if you don't take a risk when you try something. It either isn't going to be funny or dramatic or anything else. You have to risk failing to be good.
Yeah.
So, you've been shafted on a couple of situations.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Welcome.
But I'm going to tell you right now, a film that I saw that I saw the previews, I really wanted to go, went, loved it, and was surprised that it didn't do more at the box office or critically than it did was, and I don't remember the name, but The Prison.
Oh, An Innocent Man.
Excellent damn film.
Wasn't Hard Rain a better title for that?
It really was
Disney
good.
changed it at the last minute. Well, I was very proud of that movie.
Very frustrating to watch.
That was written by a guy who had done, Larry Brothers, who'd done 6 years of Hard Time, and the prison stuff was real accurate. And the whole point of the movie is what happens to a guy who maybe hasn't been in a fist fight since he's been 6 years old if he ends up in prison, even though he's kind of wrongly accused. And if the picture said anything about prison to anybody, it said, "Don't go there."
I got that message from it.
Got that from Glass Houses.
Yeah.
But it was really a very good movie, and
Thank you.
I thought you were robbed as to a lot of the films that are big these days weren't nearly as good as.
Well, it's hard, that came out about a month and a half after Stallone did a movie called Stakeout about prison, so maybe the prison quotient had been filled in the audience's mind. I don't know.
That prison void.
Yes, yeah.
All right, we got to take care of some business, and then we'll return, and we will go to the phones. There's some people on there that want to talk with you, so we'll do that at some point. And we'll return with Tom Selleck on the Mark and Brian program. Now, we are going to talk more about the movie, Mr. Baseball. Are you, it's not, this movie is not meant to go up on the Academy Awards. You didn't go for any Oscar nominations here.
Well, I don't, some movies get taken seriously, some don't. That's up to somebody else. I mean, comedy's even serious, but yeah, and I mean, see, I believe in acting, no matter how good it is or whether somebody gets an award, the work shouldn't show. Mm-hmm. People should be saying, it looked like you had a good time when you did that.
Yep.
And it looked like you were playing yourself, because you don't really are. So, yeah, in that sense, it's whatever people see it as.
So it came out fun? You liked the way the movie turned out?
It's funny. And this guy is... there's a good relationship that has the Japanese a little upset because it's an interracial love story, and
Was it really?
Yeah. They were a little upset that the Japanese woman goes to bed with my character, as they put it so soon. But I think they're upset that she went to bed with me at all.
Well,
but that's kind of the nature. That it's a very closed society over there. So, yeah, I like the movie. It's fun, and the character's kind of real rough at the edges. It's definitely not 3 Men and a Baby, and yet. Like, I wouldn't take my 5-year-old to see this movie, but I'd probably take a 8 or 9 or 10-year-old.
all right.
I don't know. If I had a girlfriend and she went to bed with you, I think I'd be like, yeah, hey, this is my girlfriend. She went to bed. Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck had her.
Have you met her?
She's had Tom Selleck.
Meet her. Here she is.
Where no man is going to fall except Tom Selleck.
All right, we got a lot of people on the phone. Let's give them a chance before we get too breathy here.
Alrighty. Stephanie.
Yes.
Jeez, a lot of these are girls. Stephanie.
Yes.
You're on the air. Where's
Hello?
Tom Selleck? Say hello to Tom.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Mr. Selleck. I had
Tom.
Huh?
Tom.
Hi, Tom. I've heard there's a possibility that Magnum PI is going to be made into a miniseries or a movie. Is that true?
No miniseries, no TV reunion show, but I know Universal Studios would like to make a very large-scale motion picture out of it, and there's no deals made, and we're not really prepared to announce anything, but I'd find it real interesting. I love that character, and I'd like to know where he is about 5 years later.
What would you?
That'd be fun.
What would you do on a screen version that you haven't done on television?
Well,
Why would somebody want to go pay $8 to see what they've already seen?
Well, that's the trick. I mean, we'd have a huge budget, but that doesn't. I don't believe in that. You do a movie just because you have more money. You do bigger explosions, you know, if you know what I mean. So you just need to do a story that concerns the character, that stands on its own, and those who saw the series would have a bonus, and those who didn't are going to enjoy the movie unto itself. But that's pretty easy with this character because we always allowed him to grow and change and get older. And in our last episode, he re-enlisted in the Navy. He gave up being a private investigator. So it'd be real interesting to find out what happened with all that.
Well, see, the one thing
He's a SEAL. He probably served in the Gulf.
I think he wrote books for the CIA and got involved with this Russian submarine.
Wasn't he involved
Check
in
that
the
out.
Kennedy assassination?
It was that.
Yeah,
he was the
that's
one on the
all.
grassy knoll.
Yeah.
But the character always had a great sense of humor. And that there was one episode where you were just trying to watch a I think it was a Notre Dame Michigan game, and all through the episode you'd taped it. You didn't want anybody to tell you what the score was.
Yeah.
It was very funny. A lot of real good content.
That's actually based on certain reality, especially in Hawaii. Because all the games, because it's 3 hours even different from the coast, so all the games are already played by the time you get home at night.
Right.
So like Monday Night Football, and when we were shooting Magnum, anybody would be shot who gave the score.
There you go.
You're taping that.
So,
Where were you? What island did you do the show on, and where did you live?
the island of Oahu, and I lived there, which was great, and I still got a house over there, which I didn't buy a real big house, so it's kind of maintainable, so I kept my house over there.
Do you like to go back, or do you kind of get that island fever after doing so much time over there?
Well, I thought when Magnum ended, because I do love Hawaii, that I'd get over there for big chunks of time, but it hasn't really worked that way. So now, if I can get 3 or 4 days, I'll go over there for a weekend. My daughter loves it, and so we try and get her over there.
Do you like having a daughter? You bond with that? Does that work for you?
I thought I wanted another boy, and I'm quite happy with this girl stuff.
And she's how old now?
She's 3.5. She's pretty girly, and she's got me figured out and wired. I just think it's great.
There's nothing.
Discipline is up to someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And 3.5 is about as cute as they get.
Oh, it's great. It just keeps getting better and better. And
Not according to Woody Allen. Where was I going to go with that? Oh, you. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Now you had your first son. He's 24 now. Did you say? Okay.
And kicking your ass at basketball.
When you had
and
him,
volleyball.
When you had him, were you modeling then?
No, I didn't. I got in this business when I was 22 by accident, and I ended up under contract to a studio. So I never really did.
In acting?
Yeah, in acting. And about 4 or 5 years into acting, because you didn't do modeling if you wanted to be an actor in those days, I got an offer to do a Salem billboard. And I did this one thing, and I got a day's pay for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they spent about $20 million buying space for it. I got $250, and I was the Salem man. And worse, everybody thought I was rich. So they kind of pushed the dinner tabs towards me.
No.
Wow.
All your friends. Now, what about the Halston? Was it Halston Cologne?
No, I did Chaz, yeah.
Chad.
No, that was a
Chaz.
TV commercial, and they did a print work campaign with it. But that was good. That was a good deal because it let me turn down a lot of goofy acting parts. That was just before Magnum. Although it was a little weird when I went to the first Emmy Awards post-party, and Revlon had got this brilliant idea to put Chaz on all the tables.
Oh, my God.
By that point, I kind of wanted to forget about that commercial.
But now you
So
were
the whole industry saw me as the Chaz man.
I thought you were
and
there
I wanted
to
to be
promote.
taken seriously from a nice, serious show like Magnum.
And you were never the Marlboro man.
Nope, but I was a blue-eyed Salem guy. I mean, it made my eyes blue because everybody... I guess that smoking the cigarette turned your eyes blue because mine are green.
That's what happened. So Magnum was your first...
Don't think we didn't know that.
Because we did.
Well, it's radio. I don't know. I'm new.
But now Magnum was your first big stab as far as the business.
Yeah, I did 6 unsold pilots before that. And each one would kind of tie you up for a year.
Right.
So I was pretty well... a well-kept secret, anyway.
What do you like as far as now television is still long days like a movie but still a little quicker? What do you like best as far as that? I mean, you've done series television and you've done these films. Is there a like or dislike about any one of them?
Doing the series was great. As an actor, I'll never have a job like that again. I got to look at the same character for 8 years and watch him change. Even if you do a play, you do the same part of the character's life. So that's what I had was a unique experience. But the hours and stuff, and I mean on a movie you work the same hours, but it only goes for about 2 or 3 months, and then you got some time off. On the series, it was all year long. And
so 8 years doing it, and you say that you're watching the character change. Were those conscious decisions, or what the character evolved into, and you look back and go, God, remember when I was like that? And now
it happened early on because I only knew one way to work as an actor, and I kept giving the writers notes saying, I can't do this week. Don't you remember last week he made this mistake? And they go, oh, no, in TV, you just ignore that. And I said, no, we can't. And they considered it a nuisance for a while, but ultimately what evolved was the more we paid attention to what happened the weeks before, the more it gave us ideas for his future. And then we started learned more about the character by going back in his past.
Flashbacks.
And, and Vietnam was a big part of that show, and that was Don Belisario and myself both really believed in that aspect of the character's life. In fact, that's why the show's in the Smithsonian. My goofy hat and Hawaiian shirt and the character's ring are in the Smithsonian because they recognize this is the first show who showed Vietnam veterans in a positive light, because at that point you had to be an axe murderer if you served in Vietnam.
Right. You know, the movie was an idea I didn't even hear about until just a few minutes ago. That'd be great. That'd be great. Hope you can put that together.
Well, I'd like to see do the guy again, and I'd like to see where he is 5 years later. So, I don't know. I hope it works. It won't be my next movie, but I'm really happy they're interested. You know, it's in like 100 countries now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's the most.
Now, have you gone to these foreign countries and seen like somebody dubbed over your voice? And
I haven't seen that much. You know, I think in Japan I saw it once in Japan, but I think it was subtitled.
Oh.
So I was spared that because everybody in every nation will have a lower voice than me.
Right.
You know, which is kind of sad.
Can relate to that.
Right now, being that I'm sure this is not one of your favorite
Italy,
things.
I think I have a very deep voice.
Yeah.
You should fly over and just take a look.
Yeah, Magnum.
I like to see Higgins and like. Yeah. My name.
My name. But I mean, realizing this is not your favorite pastime, but doing the show, you were busy, didn't have a chance to run home each night that you're on and see when it first ran. Do you ever see the show now, and do you like what turned out?
Yeah, well, I watched every show, I think. You know, some people say, well, they never watched them when we did them. Sooner or later, I saw every episode. But now, you know, some of them I can't remember. Some of them I remember differently than they were. And actually, you know, some of my favorites never turned out to be the audience favorites. And some I thought were terrible. Actually, I won an Emmy for a show I didn't think was that strong.
Which one was that?
I can't remember. It was called Sister Sister. It was an episode where I was helping the character Rick, Larry Manetti, with his sister, and I let her get killed.
Hey, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Magnum made mistakes, you know.
Yeah. And then he freaked out.
And he freaked out and hit me.
Yeah, and burst through a window. I'm going to shoot all the bad guys up.
Yeah, so who knows?
All right, now there's a girl on the phone. We're going to take this before we go to our next break. She called at the very first break this morning at about 10 after 6.
Yeah.
That's when I got up.
You inspired her. She's on 14 now.
She'll tell you.
Magnum?
Good morning.
Who is this?
This is Magnum.
Oh, well, me too.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Hooty-hoo.
Huh?
All right, now tell him
Same
your
to you.
story.
Okay, I'm a private investigator.
Are you really?
Yeah, I really am, in real life, flesh and blood, and I'm on surveillance this morning, and I heard that you were coming on the show. I took your name as a joke because, obviously, over the air, the radios that we use, we don't want to use our first names.
Oh, really?
For anonymity reasons, yeah, because we have a regular following.
Yeah, so you are Magnum.
Yeah.
Today.
We have a Higgins and a TC, and it's the whole company's involved.
Do you mess up as much as Magnum did?
You know, you make my job so hard because you make it look so easy.
Well, it is easy when you've read the script.
Right, that helps.
And you know exactly where he's going to be, the bad guy's going to be, and all that.
Right, you know, and the red Ferrari doesn't help me much. I mean, I tend to stand out a little bit in it.
That was a good undercover car, don't you?
Well, it really was.
That was awesome. That was awesome. You know, I always like the way you sit, like, right in front of people's houses.
Yeah, he sits in front of houses with the top down with his head that sticks out about 4 inches above the roof of the car.
Right.
No one will know.
Oh, that's good. Then I guess I never put those
I didn't
things
fit in that car. But it's low key. Sometimes, you know, he hid behind a bush with the car.
You got out of the car like a chick, though. Did you notice that? Because your legs are so long, you had to put your knees together and kind of.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting in and out of that, so I'd grab the windshield and kind of pivot my legs.
Sometimes
and
he
get
hid.
style points, and if you threw the Hungarian judge's score out, I was always way up.
Yeah.
I just like sometimes he hid behind a bush in the car. You know, like again, nobody will see.
So, are you
Anybody
behind
out there?
Are
I
you
see no
behind a
one.
bush today? Or you can't disclose where you are.
She is really on surveillance.
Is this one of those tough slogging divorce cases like Magnum used to hate?
No, unfortunately, I don't get things that juicy, but most of it's insurance, but a lot of times what we find out is when we're following people around that not only are they cheating the system, but they're cheating on everybody else. So they usually go pick up girlfriend and go to the beach and then drop her off and go pick up somebody else.
She's on an insurance fraud case right now.
It gets
Yeah.
real interesting.
And you said that he inspired you to become a private eye?
Yeah, in a way. I saw the show. I was traveling with my parents in all of the United States one summer, and we were in Helena, Montana. And the show came on, and I didn't know what it was at the time because we were traveling, and I watched the show, and I got hooked on it. And I thought at the time, I don't know, it was between like 10 and 12, I thought, that's what I want to do for a living. And that was my dream for the past 10 or 12 years.
And it came true.
And I want to be a cowboy in Australia.
Right, right. That's my next choice.
I do. Do
Yeah, after
you-
I'm done with this.
Do you pack a heater?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
you have a gun?
No, I don't.
Well, see, Magnum didn't either, and I always found it. I thought it was the writers hated this too, but I said he doesn't want to carry a gun, so if he needs one, he usually has to go in his drawer and get it, which always presented problems because half the time he wouldn't have it when he needed it, which I kind of liked. We had to write
that's funny.
around it then.
That's funny. Well, thanks, Magnum.
Hey, I want to ask him a couple questions real quick before
Okay.
I go.
Okay.
I always wondered, was Higgins really Robin Masters?
Well, Magnum sure thinks so,
Okay.
and Higgins in the last episode admitted it in a weak moment, but we thought it was very appropriate for their relationship that in the last scene of the movie, Higgins says, "You remember what I told you about me being Robin Masters? I lied."
Yeah.
And we felt that, in spite of the fact that the show is called Resolutions, we thought that was much more in keeping with their relationship. So I think Magnum has it all worked out. We did a show locked in an elevator once, and he really figured it out.
So Magnum thinks that he actually is.
Yeah, well, it's a little more complicated than that. He thinks that Higgins, because he's ashamed of he wants to write serious nonfiction stuff, and he's ashamed of this ability to write cheap pulp novels, as he calls them. So he invented this guy, and he hired a guy to travel around the world looking like a big-time Playboy writer. But Higgins is the real writer, put it that way. So Higgins is Robin Masters is a fictitious character that Higgins has created.
As far as you know.
Complex, huh? Well, Magnum is convinced.
Yeah, all right. We'll see in the movie.
Hey, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
This is kind of a sweet story. Every year for like the past 10 years, I've asked my grandmother, what would you like for your birthday? And every year she says, Tom Selleck. Well, obviously I can't wrap you up in a bow and give you to her, but...
Well, no, ask him, because...
okay.
Well, check with my wife.
Right, you gotta check with your wife first.
He doesn't seem
But what I
opposed.
think would be really neat, her birthday was yesterday.
Yeah,
I would think it would be really neat if I could get an autographed picture of you for her.
that's easy.
That would be
I'll
neat.
send you one.
And maybe one for my boss, too.
Well, how can I find? I need an address
Tell you
and
what.
a name, and I'll do it when I get to my office.
Yeah, Magnum, you can hang on, and we'll get your name and address and phone numbers and all that, okay?
Hey, and Mark and Brian, are you guys doing the Halloween drive-in this year?
Yes, we are.
I would love to bring everybody from my work.
All right.
That'd be great.
Well, give us a call. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, I love you.
All right, hang on.
Okay.
All right,
Bye,
are you-
Tom.
Bye.
You have an office?
Me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do right now.
What
You
do
know,
you do there?
I just act like a businessman.
What happens?
Well, I go to Disney, and I go in there and talk to my secretary.
So wait a
and
minute now. All right, now you did all these movies for Disney.
I do mogul-like things,
Wow.
but
This is
I'm not a mogul.
I just see you walking in with your blue jeans and
Yeah,
your
I'll go in
jean-
like this today.
tweed jacket, and you just kind of walk in and go, I'll be in here if anybody needs me. I'm just going to sit in your
If
desk.
anybody calls at all.
Yeah, anyone.
I'm right in
Anyone.
And I watch the plants, you know.
Now, seriously, now you did these films for Disney. Was The Office part of the deal?
After Three Men and a Baby, I signed a deal with them for 4 pictures, which didn't include Three Men and a Little Lady. So The Office was part of the deal, yeah. It's to make me feel important.
Cool. Hey, look, I mean, this is something we aspire to. We want two things. We
This
want an
is a
office,
nice office.
and we want a gig.
Yeah. 3 Men and a Baby was such a cool movie because of the relationship of the 3 men in the
Yeah.
first one. The script made you guys, whether you like each other or not off camera, you,
Oh, we do.
you were-
Actually, that's why we did the second one, because
Good.
we all do like each other.
it seemed like you did. It seemed like you were all 3 different characters
Yeah.
from different backgrounds, and you just meshed so well. And that's why that works so well.
Well, yeah, and I liked my character. Actually, if you really think about him, he was the crankiest of the 3 guys, and he wouldn't show affection to the kid in front of the other guys. He wouldn't admit that he liked it, but he was pretty soft touch, actually, underneath.
When you just got the baby asleep and then like a siren goes by or something and you're standing there blocking the sound from the window.
Noise with our hands. That was Leonard Nimoy's idea, and I said, and you read it in the script. It sounded so stupid. I said, Leonard, how are we going to do this? Leonard directed the movie, and he's terrific. So yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, it's super funny. All right, let's go to take a commercial real quick.
Okay.
Nicole, we supposed to? All right.
Yes, we are.
All right, we'll return with Tom Selleck in moments on KLOS.
Playing with stuff very quietly, but just wanted to be there. No, it's great.
Let us ask you this. We're back on the air with Tom Selleck.
Oh my God, I need my headset.
What is? I mean, you've done the television series, which took up a lot of time for a long time.
Yeah.
What's good about life right now? What are you really digging?
Well, I'm older.
You don't look.
I've accepted the process a little more, and I realized somewhere along the line in Magnum that if you got so goal oriented or you just wanted to get somewhere, I've gotten to a lot of places I thought was getting there, and it's not that big a deal, you know. And you usually set a new goal anyway. So
does it bother you that you're not aging well?
No.
The man is
27 years old.
For God's sakes.
Jeez.
He looks killer.
Jeez.
No, but what did you mean by it's not?
I
that
just
big
am
a deal?
enjoying the ride a lot more, and I'm, you know, even, you know, you have ups and downs and good reviews and bad reviews, and I'm a lot more philosophic about it. I know I'm probably going to keep working, and if I don't, I've had a pretty good ride. So,
did you mean that it's not that great? You set a goal, you work at it, you want it, then when you get there, it's no real big deal.
well, sometimes you even miss getting there. You're just moving on, and it's a very strange process, you know. And I guess that's healthy because I don't think we should take ourselves too seriously. I've just been, you know, I was qualified, but I've been mostly lucky. I happen to be qualified enough to take advantage of the luck, but you still have to be lucky.
Every leading man has his own answer to this question. Dudley Moore has a pretty funny one when he did 10 with Bo Derek. But what is a love scene like? How do you handle them? Do you enjoy them? Or is it more of like, is it the worst filming day of the movie?
Some of them have been the worst moments of my life, and some have been kind of fun. And it depends on the kind of trust you can establish, because with all those goofy people watching you, it's you got to get kind of lost in each other. And if you're dealing with somebody else, in this case an actress who might be a little uptight and thinking you're using the scene as an excuse to cop a feel.
Oh God, no, does that happen?
Yeah, I've worked with a couple people in that sense, and I'm trying to say, honest, no, read the script. See right here.
Honest, no.
And my pet peeve is when they put, you know, have you ever seen people, they've just made love, and they're laying in bed together, and the actors have put a sheet between them.
Right.
Now that kind of puts a lie to the whole thing. So I'm usually the one saying, don't take this wrong, but do you really have to wrap yourself around and 3 times with that sheet? Yeah, because it's not going to look right.
But now, Tom, let's ask you. You're married,
Yeah.
got the wife, got to go home, maybe take the wife to a premiere where Tom's up there
Yeah.
tongue kissing this woman, and you're rubbing him breasts and whatnot. It's got to be tough.
Wait a minute, what movie was this? Because I like that.
There's some scenes in Mr. Baseball.
Yeah, cool.
Well, Jillian's great. She's an actress, so I got to deal with the same thing, which I don't want to think about.
Who handles it better?
She handles it great, and she does a lot of theater, so I don't always see all of it. You know, a film is there forever, and Jilly has to deal with it all the time.
She's going, no, really, Tom, it's in the script here.
I don't get it. No, we're okay with it, but that doesn't mean you really want somebody.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's professional enough on a set to have their spouse or their girlfriend there while you're doing a love scene, because
Makes
there's
it
a
tough.
part of you that's going to be saying, see, honest, this isn't like I really kiss you.
Yeah, because...
And you can't lie on film. It doesn't mean you become someone else, but you got to commit enough to be believable.
Unless you're like John Derek.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit kinky.
Well, I've never worked with John,
Have you ever kissed him? Top to feel.
but John that would be hard, because
Yeah.
he was directing his wife, and you'd be kissing his wife.
The feeling that he kind of likes it, though. Something's up there. I don't know.
Let us ask you this, and you were one of a handful of people that could answer this, but you're in a unique position in that you talked about Magnum being worldwide in all of these countries, and everybody's known you and what you look like, and you hit the scene very big, and women adore the way you look, and they like all about Tom.
Yeah.
Is it tough to be what and who you are and live a normal life? Can you go to the mall? Do women scream and make scenes and do all these other things?
They don't scream at the mall. If people are set up for a public appearance thing, it has to do with perceptions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If I go shopping, you know, some people may come up and you deal with it, and you don't want to be rude to people, but you got to get on with your life. But if you're set up in a public appearance atmosphere, I don't know why. I think a lot of people feel obligated to scream. It's like, well, I came, and he'll be offended if I don't scream. So I better scream. And that's the same thing with autographs. I've seen a lot of people that come up and say hello and are quite happy to say, I enjoy your work, and then they feel, gee, I don't want to offend him. I guess I better ask him for his autograph. And you'd really like to tell everybody, don't bother, because it takes. I'd much rather talk to people than sign
Well,
things.
you come off, we kind of said this earlier, but a guy that's very comfortable in his own skin and on the screen, and then to have you sitting here, I haven't seen you much on the talk show circuit, maybe once or twice.
I get nervous on TV.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
But to have you sit here and be comfortable, just like you come across on the screen, that is very inspiring and very good to know. And I think that's why people dig you so much.
Well, I had. It's hard, you know. You got to look at yourself in the mirror, and I had the benefit of not working for about 14 years, even though I wanted to. So I told myself a lot. I worked with a lot of jerks, and I worked with some wonderful people. And when I was working with a jerk, I'd say, boy, if I ever get in that position,
I'm not going to be a jerk.
I'm not going to be a jerk. Now, and sometimes when I'm behaving like a jerk, I remember that and I stop.
What do you like to do when you, let's say you've got weeks where you don't really have anything you have to go do? What do you enjoy doing?
Well, I don't travel because I travel a lot in my work. My idea of a vacation is being home. So I got a ranch and I pull weeds, and actually I spent the last 4 months building a little 12-foot by 12-foot playhouse for my daughter, which has really been fun. I'm almost done. I've got some lost fingernails and stuff from it.
And she's digging that?
Andy?
She's liking it.
Yeah.
It's taking a little long for her taste, though.
This is mine.
Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I think Brian kind of asked my question. I was wondering if you had problems during the nude scenes on Mr. Baseball. I had heard that
There were some news scenes. I haven't seen this.
Well, there's a lot of locker room stuff. There's a lot of. I got to ask questions about butt shots from this movie. Asking
Did you
if
show your butt?
Well, yeah, you almost have to in a locker room to be accurate, you know.
Tell it, Tommy. Did you have it framed nicely in a jock strap?
Well, you just got to trust that they'll frame it, because there's a lot of cameras, and you know, you got to walk around, and there's never a fourth wall in movies, so there's always a lot of crew people peeking, you know. So you just kind of block that out.
Now,
and
for
hope
those
for the
kind
best.
of, are you clearing the set for those kind of scenes? Just the vital people?
Yeah, the Vital 100.
Yeah.
It seems like it takes a lot of people to make movies, and it takes even more to make nude scenes. I don't know why.
Tom's making nude scene today.
Well, it's
Call at 11.
It's weird. We got into. I got really actually quite angry. We had a largely Australian crew, and you know they're real sensitive at the beginning of a love scene. But the actress I was working with, this Japanese woman, we were in bed naked, and I just blew up the crew.
What'd you do?
I said, look, if you guys think this is so easy, you take off your clothes. Well, the only trouble is this is an Australian crew, and they did. I'm not kidding.
Right, mate.
The boom guy, the guy on sound, immediately took off all his clothes. And,
Scoot over, mate. I'm right in there.
well, they were kind of preoccupied with mooning, so.
Yeah.
She looked good, this girl, in the film?
She looks very good. She's very pretty and has a wonderful quality. You know, I find that very romantic. You know, and the whole concept of falling in love with somebody that you can't always communicate with.
Okay.
So I like that aspect.
Greg,
Yeah.
you're on the air with Tom Selleck. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, Mark Bryan?
Hey, fine.
Who do you?
Hey.
Tom, speaking about on the air with the beautiful women,
Yes.
I was wondering what it's like to work with Paulina in Her Alibi, which I thought was an awesome movie.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Undiscovered.
I don't know if the guys have seen it.
Well, it's directed by Bruce Beresford, a real good director. Another Australian who wasn't preoccupied with taking off his clothes. Actually, Paulina was great. It was.
She's good looking.
She is kind of devastatingly pretty. The most fun I had was there's a scene where she has she sits me down in a chair and cuts my hair.
The haircut.
And I had permission, and I kept telling Paulina this.
Why is
Because I
that
say,
funny?
see, it's right here in print. I get to try and look down your blouse or through the side holes of
See,
your
it's
arm.
right here in print.
See your
It's
in the
breasts.
script.
And I get to moan, you know, as you touch me, and so that was a lot of fun.
can I ask one more question real quick?
Sure.
I was at a Chatsworth High School volleyball game against Pacific Palisades, and I noticed you handed out you were there at Pepperdine City Championship game, and you handed out the trophies. Do you remember that about 4, 5, 6 years ago, maybe?
What, me?
Yeah.
That was at the city. Yeah, my son won the city
Oh,
championship.
your son was on that team.
Yeah, he was all-city middle blocker, and the same week he was a city champ in the 50-meter freestyle. He had a good week.
Wow, man.
I remember
Yeah, he's
you
a good
talking about
athlete.
going to SC, and yeah, you beat my alma mater, Chatsworth, for that.
I'm sorry. I'm a Valley guy, so I had mixed emotions.
Yeah. Okay, it was great talking to you, Tom.
All right,
You too.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks
man.
a lot, Mark and Brian.
Hey, a blocker now. Volleyball. Back to volleyball. Blocker is the guy who blocks the spikes.
Yeah, it's usually also when they have the ball, he turns around and becomes a hitter usually. But
So he's
blockers,
spiking it too.
yeah, but a good block can be quite intimidating.
The one against
unless
the
you
net.
can jump.
The guy
Yeah.
against the net.
Yeah, because the big blockers in international volleyball, you can reach over the net. So and what happens is if you hit it real hard, it comes right back in your face, and it's real humiliating.
And
Like
you're an
with
outside
Magic.
hitter, you said?
I'm an outside hitter,
So
and I
that is-
suffer a lot of indignity when you get blocked. It's quite humiliating.
Are you the guy who goes like parallel, or I mean horizontal with the floor, going on those outside hits? Is that what you're talking
No, an
about?
outside hit, a spike, is when you
Oh.
jump up. This is going to be quite a volleyball game we're going to play.
No, we're learning here, see?
An outside hitter comes around on the left side of the court. Usually, he's the power hitter, and
We need that.
yeah, well,
We need that.
yeah, but you're asking me to hit against a huge block.
But you know, that's okay.
Yeah, well, I can jump. In fact, I didn't like that movie title
We like this.
because that's all I could do at SC
I
was
can't
jump. Yeah.
Really? What was
I
your
thought that was
vertical?
quite racist. My vertical was in the 40s, and I could stuff with either hand. I was 6'4".
Can you still
So-
stuff?
You were
I
6'4"?
stuffed. The last time I stuffed was in the credits of Magnum on a legitimate basket, and I brushed the rim going up, and I said maybe I ought to stop. I just like to.
Ceases here.
That way, I think I can. Yeah, I can still stuff because I haven't tried.
Yeah, there you go.
Let us ask you this, and we'll do this in each caller that calls up, both myself and Brian, as the morning has progressed, we keep remembering a movie of yours from the past 10 years that we really liked.
Yeah, I've done 10 of them.
Do you feel like, because it's starting to feel that way here, a lot of the movies that you've done have been very good films. There were no Club Paradises in there. No big, no film that you did for
No
the big
Ishtars,
movie.
no.
Yeah, and,
Actually,
and-
yeah.
Well, was there a feeling of where critics and maybe the audience said, okay, he did really well on the television thing, but I don't think he can pull off a big movie. I'm not going to go see it.
Well, they did that for a long time. I think it was kind of a lazy angle, especially after 3 Men and a Baby. There's still some guys running around saying that, but I mean, I got a 4-picture deal at Disney, and I've done 10 movies. And,
You got an office?
Yeah, I got an office. So I said, come to my office, and I'll show you my photos.
Is that
So that's a good 3 hours of your day right there.
It bothers me only to the extent that if somebody reads that, if you get a review of a movie, and in the first paragraph they say, well, he never had a success as big as Magnum, although I don't know how to do any better than having the #1 picture in the world for a year. That they say, well, it might turn the audience off of the current picture, so I don't think that's quite right. But it doesn't come up much anymore. So maybe, as I do more movies, Magnum takes its proper place. But I sure don't resent hearing about Magnum. I love the show.
You got to feel good about the movies you got on videotape because you got the
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do them all over again, but I don't feel I have any real clunkers either. And most people who see them, if they like them, are more apt to go to the theater the next time. So you kind of build an audience that way.
What was the name of the movie? I saw this in a theater too, but I can't remember the name of it. The biplane.
High Road to China. That was the first movie I did.
Yeah.
I did Daughters of Satan and some really horrendous.
Yeah, but those
ones
were
before
way-
Magnum.
You were in Daughters of Satan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought that out on Letterman one night. He said, I want to get this out before you discover it.
I got all my skeletons out of the closet that night on Letterman.
And it was bad.
It was awful. Wasn't that a great film, Chris? But I had buttons all printed, re-released Daughters of Satan and everything on.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, come right back, say goodbye to Tom. Don't go away.
Up the hassle.
Well, I get stared at a little bit.
Doesn't
You
matter
don't
most
want
damn
to
good.
do it. So we found out we're talking. We spend like 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever it's been in here. What's it actually been an hour? Just
Seems like 2.
Yeah.
Now all this time about saying how down to earth, how he's comfortable in his own skin, and that's his thing. We find out he's not really a human being. He's a cyborg.
Right, he's made.
Exactly.
He's half
He was
human,
built-
half
that's-
machine.
My eye fell out.
Yeah,
Right
that's kinda neat.
during the
Rolled
commercial.
along. you're doing films primarily now. Are there any good movies you've seen of late that you like a lot?
Yeah. Last of the Mohicans.
You've seen that?
Yeah, I really liked that the other night.
Good.
And you know what I liked a while ago is Diggstown.
Oh, that's excellent. Wow, that was
snuck
killer.
up on me because I didn't expect anything. I liked that movie.
It
Well,
was
see,
what a sleeper.
I like Jim and I like Lewis a lot.
It made like $350 at the box office.
That's true.
I've done a few of those.
Have you?
But see, we went on the air and we kept talking about how really we did the screening for it. We talked how
Yeah.
good this is. Please go, and then it wound up doing what it didn't do. And
So this interview of mine isn't going to help Mr. Baseball?
Not really. No, not at all.
probably not. No, sure did help.
Wait a minute. You came in here to plug your movie?
Not really. It's already out. It's too late.
Okay.
How is it doing, by the way?
Actually, it's doing quite well. And I came in to say hi because this is kind of fun.
Yeah, you hear.
Because I heard about Diggstown and what you guys did to it, so I knew it wouldn't help my movie.
We can't do a damn thing for you, big man. We can't help you or the film, so just know that.
But to get you in here, we'll lie and say we can.
Yeah.
Okay, now, directing, producing, any of that want to...
Well, I got part of that. The reason I got that office is because I'm a producer.
You got your own phone and people
I got
call
my-
You laugh when you say that. Does it just sound
Well,
funny
it is
to
kind
you?
I go in the office, I lock the door, and I laugh, and I giggle. You know? I say, bring me a Coke.
Is there a script I
Just
can
some
read or
water
something?
this time.
Do you have a secretary and stuff like
I
that?
have a real secretary, and Pualani
Do people call? Does the
from
phone ring?
she came with me from Hawaii.
That's right. Pool.
Pua. Pua for short.
And does your phone ring? Do people want to talk to you for various reasons, or no?
Only people who want stuff.
Yeah.
Or want to sell you office furniture.
Exactly. No, actually, I get that from Disney.
There you see, that's neat. That stuff is neat there. Boy.
All right, what do you have coming up?
The Playhouse. I did 3 pictures back to back, and I took the summer off. So, and I like to work on Mr. Baseball, so I just figured I'd sit there and see what happens when the movie comes out. And so, if I'm out of work for about 6 months, can I come back on the show and
Sure.
do
Damn right.
I could do a price reduction sale.
Well,
Something
sure,
like that.
absolutely.
Going out of business.
Whatever the hell you need, man. So you're taking some time off, kinda?
Yeah. It's hard to do, and the actors always think their last job's going to be their last one, especially if you've been out of work most of your life.
Does that go through your head? I mean, you
Yeah.
went through 14 years of unemployment, basic unemployment. So even when you do 3 Men and a Baby, you did Quigley Down Under, you did High Road to China.
Yeah.
Every movie, do you have to kind of have that in the back of your head? Like
I get scared.
This could be the last thing, so save your money or look at something else.
Yeah, both those things, and you should be a little scared going into something. Going to Japan, I was terrified for this. I didn't know who the character was or anything, and it usually comes together, I think, out of sheer terror. I don't know, but that's a good feeling. I think that's part of where your talent comes from.
Would you categorize yourself as a perfectionist when you're on the set?
Yeah, but you always
Especially in
want to
the love scenes.
Especially in the
I
love
want to get this right.
You want to get that right. You say, Pauline, I couldn't quite see down your blouse that time. Could we do it again?
I saw some areola, but no nip. And
I want to see the whole slope. Lean over.
Yeah, but actually the best way you can work is leave it up to the director. Get a good director and get off your own case and be willing to say, well, I did it, he liked it, take it or leave it. That's hard to do, though.
Are you a good actor?
I think so. Well, I'm getting better, and by the time I'm 60, I could be devastating.
Cool.
Yeah. The good thing about acting is you keep learning.
maybe you'll get that Silence of the Lamparts Lost.
I want to see this man in a white T-shirt, white pants, in a jail cell. I think it's there.
Well, neat. It's just been a pleasure to talk to you, Tom.
Yes, it has. Best of luck on whatever the hell, if you do the Magnum film or if you don't, do come back. I mean, there's a lot of situations, if you've ever had any aspirations of doing a radio program, when we take vacation, we like to try to give 4 hours of the show to persons like yourself who want to bring a buddy in and
Really?
do the show. Sure.
So that's frightening.
It is. It can be scary. So if you want to come in and do it, you're welcome to it.
Okay.
All right, good. We've inked him for the volleyball game.
He's in.
And his son, and we got him for a show.
Now, Tom, we are serious about the volleyball. If you,
I'll try.
yeah.
Now, look, we are going to be basically just token idiots there. We'll set you up with your son. Got your son already, we call him. We got
He's a stick. He's a stick.
Okay.
He'll help.
And we'll get some really good players. Jeannie Buss's husband. We'll get
Steve.
Steve. We'll get Steve in.
Peter Horton's. Is that his name? Yeah. Peter Horton. We're going to get
Steve
him.
Timmons is awesome.
All right, now we're seriously
I
like
feel
Brian
much better with Steve.
Well, see, now, like Brian was saying, we're just going to kind of be there. We're going to put this team together, and there's going to be a lot of listeners who are going to come and pay top dollar, all for charity, to watch this game take place. So it's going to be real competitive, real into
What
it.
did the
Dusty
softball
Dvorak,
game
Jeff
raise?
Stork, maybe a setter of that quality.
you can help us put it together. See, if you could captain this thing,
Yeah.
this would be great.
Get some buds. See, Magic is listening now, and he's shaking in his boots.
Oh yeah, he knows we're dealing with some
I
damn
can
ball
still
players.
jump, Magic, but not that high.
We raised like $40,000 the last softball game, so we'll raise more for this volleyball game.
Yeah, if you could see clear to not only...
You guys are very soft on the date, though.
Well, I mean, let's make it.
No, don't make a date, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, basically, it's up to you, Tom. Okay.
It really
your
is.
book.
Whenever you can do it is when it'll happen.
Perfect.
There's the pressure. All right, listen, man, thank you again for coming in and not calling. That was very
It's
kind
good
of you.
seeing you guys. No, I didn't want to do that. That wouldn't be fun.
See, the reason we don't give you a date for the softball or the volleyball game is because if we told you, you go, oh, geez, damn. I'm busy that day. And we know what we're doing here.
This way we leave it open. You ain't busy every damn day.
No.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
Best of luck with Mr. Baseball. It's in the theaters now. Go see it if you want to have a little bit of fun. So enjoy.
A lot of fun.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Good
All
to
right.
see you.
Bye-bye. And that'll do it for us today. Take care of yourselves, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bob Dylan tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Bob Dylan's coming in. Yeah.
Oh, can I come?
Yeah, sure. Jackson Brown came in today for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, he did. But
Got in trouble for that
Before
one.
I woke up.
seriously, do you know, I mean, we had you
Bob
today.
Dylan tomorrow?
Yeah, Bob
tomorrow,
Dylan
and guess
tomorrow.
who else is coming in? For real. Guess who's coming in tomorrow? Does the name Ginger Lynn mean anything to you?
No.
Tom?
That's good, though, that it doesn't.
Does it really? Seriously?
It's a good name.
He really does it.
Honest, we never dated or anything.
All right, cool.
All right, Mark.
I guess not everybody knows.
Well, no,
right?
just let's look at this.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at what he looks like.
Yeah.
Do you think he needs a sex videotape?
I
Do
guess
you
he
think
does.
he needs to rent them?
I guess he does.
Pretty much
Yeah.
it's always there.
Oh, that Ginger Lynn.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
All right, gang, will be with us. It starts up at 6. It'll be the post big. Ginger Lynn will be here. Bob Dylan's going to be here, and we'll deal with other crap that we ain't dealt with yet.
Have a good day. Have fun and take care.
This is 95.5 KLOS, Los Angeles.